I'll write a 900-word story for part 1. The encounter in simple third-person style without headings. Here's the story. The red warning light blinked in the corner of Sergeant Mina Kim's helmet display. Her oxygen levels were good, but the suit's power would only last another 2 hours. She needed to finish her patrol quickly. Mina moved carefully across the rocky surface of Outpost Delta 9, a small moon orbiting the gas giant Helios. The stars shone brightly against the black sky. Earth was so far away that its sun looked like just another tiny star. The Interstellar Peacekeeping Force had stationed 20 soldiers here to watch the border between human space and Eleran territory. The Elorans were an advanced alien race with bodies made of crystal-like material. They thought humans were primitive and dangerous. Mina checked her scanner again. Nothing unusual so far. She climbed over a small ridge and stopped suddenly. Something glinted in the valley below, something that shouldn't be there. "Base, this is Kim. I see an unknown object in Sector 4, she reported into her comm. "Copy that, Kim. What does it look like?" The voice of Captain Tay came through her helmet speakers. "It looks like a small ship, maybe an escape pod. It's damaged." Mina moved closer, her boots making soft crunching sounds on the rocky ground. "Do not approach. Wait for backup," ordered Captain Tay. But Mina had already seen movement inside the crashed pod. Someone was alive in there. "There's a survivor, sir. They might need immediate help." She reached the pod and wiped dust from a small window. Inside, she saw a figure made of pale blue crystal. An Eloran. The alien looked badly hurt, with cracks running through its crystalline body. Without thinking more, Mina found the emergency release and opened the pod. The Eloran inside was smaller than she expected, perhaps young by their standards. Its crystal body glowed with a weak inner light. The alien's eyes opened, 3 glowing blue orbs arranged in a triangle on its face. It made a sound, like breaking glass when it saw Mina. "It's okay," Mina said, though she knew the Eloran probably couldn't understand her. "I'm here to help." She checked her translator device, but it wasn't programmed for Eloran language. The alien tried to move away from her but winced in pain. "Sergeant Kim, what's your status?" Captain Tay's voice came through again. "Sir, I found an injured Eloran. Looks female, possibly young. She needs medical attention." A long silence followed. Finally, Captain Tay spoke again, his voice hard. "Leave it, Sergeant. That's an order. The Elorans don't want our help, and helping one could cause a diplomatic incident." Mina looked at the injured alien. The Eloran was watching her with those strange eyes, afraid but also hopeful. "Sir, with respect, I can't do that. She'll die without help." "That's not our problem, Kim. The Eloran hegemony has made it very clear they want no contact with humans. They think we're violent animals. If they find out we touched one of their people, it could mean war." Mina knew he was right about the risk, but she also knew she couldn't live with herself if she walked away. "I understand, sir, but I'm bringing her in." Before Captain Tay could respond, Mina turned off her comm. The Eloran made another glass-like sound as Mina carefully lifted her from the pod. She was lighter than expected, maybe half the weight of a human her size. Up close, Mina could see that the Eloran's crystal body had complex patterns inside, like frozen light. "My name is Mina," she said slowly, pointing to herself. "Mina." The Eloran blinked her 3 eyes and then raised a shaking hand to her own chest. "Nari," she said in a voice like wind chimes. "Nari," Mina repeated. "I'm going to help you, Nari." Mina placed the alien gently on the ground while she checked her supply pack. She had a basic medical kit, some water and emergency rations. Nothing that would obviously help a crystalline alien. Nari watched her with curious eyes. Then the Eloran pointed at a crack running down her arm and made a sad chiming noise. Mina thought quickly. She had heard that Elorans needed certain minerals to heal. She took out her emergency water and mixed in some mineral supplements from her medkit. She offered the mixture to Nari. The Eloran hesitated, then took the container with shaking hands. She poured the liquid directly onto her cracked arm. To Mina's surprise, the liquid was absorbed directly into the crystalline body. The crack seemed to shrink slightly. Nari made a sound that might have been relief. She looked at Mina with something new in her eyes, perhaps the beginning of trust. Mina's comm unit buzzed again. She reluctantly turned it back on. Sergeant Kim. Captain Tay's voice was angry now. Return to base immediately. That's a direct order. I'm coming back, sir, Mina replied, and I'm bringing someone with me. Negative, Sergeant. Leave the alien. That's a direct order from command. Helping an Eleran violates 3 different treaties. You could start a war. Mina looked at Nari, who was watching her with those strange, beautiful eyes. Some things are more important than treaties, sir, she said quietly. I'll accept the consequences. She picked up Nari carefully and started the long walk back to Tabekil. The Aloran felt cold against her suit, but there was a faint warmth from the glow inside her crystal body. Mina knew she was risking everything, her career, maybe even peace between their species. But watching the weak but steady pulse of light inside Nari's broken body, she knew she had made the right choice. Sometimes being human meant breaking the rules to do what was right. The journey back to base took Mina twice as long as usual. She had to move carefully to avoid jostling Nari's injured crystalline form. The alien's blue glow had dimmed even further during the trek, which worried Mina. She needed to hurry. Instead of heading to the main airlock where others would see them, Mina approached a small maintenance entrance on the far side of the dome. She had fixed the security camera there last month and knew it had a blind spot. She entered her override code and slipped inside with Nari. Almost there, she whispered to the alien, though she wasn't sure Nari understood. The halls were mostly empty during third shift. Mina moved quickly through the shadows, avoiding the few personnel on duty. When she finally reached her quarters, she punched in her code and hurried inside. The door slid shut behind them with a soft hiss. Mina's room was small but private, one benefit of her sergeant's rank. She gently placed Nari on her bed and removed her helmet. "You're safe now," Mina said, watching the alien take in her new surroundings. Nari's 3 eyes blinked rapidly as she looked around the room. Her crystal body made a soft tinkling sound when she moved. Mina's comm unit buzzed. "Captain Tay, ignore." "It," she muttered, setting it aside. She knew she'd face consequences later, but right now Nari needed help. She pulled out her personal tablet and activated an experimental translation program she'd been working on. It wasn't designed for Eloran language, but maybe it could help. "Can you understand me?" Mina spoke clearly into the device. The tablet made processing sounds, then displayed strange glowing symbols. Nari's eyes widened at the sight. The alien reached for the tablet with a shaky hand. Her crystal fingers tapped. On the screen, and new symbols appeared. "Danger," the translation read, though Mina wasn't sure how accurate it was. "Help." "Thank." Mina nodded. "Yes, I'm helping you. You're safe here." More symbols appeared. "Not safe. They find. They hurt." "Who will hurt you? Other Elorans?" Nari's body flickered, something Mina realized might be their version of nodding. "Why?" Mina asked. The alien struggled with the tablet for several minutes. Finally, "I find truth. Bad people. Plan hurt many." Mina frowned. Was Nari trying to say she had discovered something dangerous? Something that made her a target? Her thoughts were interrupted by Nari's sudden shudder. New cracks were forming along the alien's side. "You're getting worse," Mina said, alarmed. She needed to find a way to help, but human medicine wouldn't. Work on a crystalline being. Thinking quickly, Mina went to her small storage unit and pulled out her rock collection, a hobby from her childhood that she'd never given up. She had gathered interesting minerals from every planet she'd visited. She selected several crystals and showed them to Nari. "Will these help you heal?" Nari's eyes focused on a piece of blue quartz. Her hand reached out weakly. Mina crushed the quartz into powder using the back of her utility knife. She mixed it with water, creating a thick paste. Following her instincts, she carefully applied it to Nari's worst cracks. The effect was immediate. The paste disappeared into Nari's body, and a stronger glow pulsed from within. The cracks began to seal themselves. "It's working!" Mina exclaimed, relief washing over her. Over the next few hours, Mina crushed different minerals for Nari. Some helped more than others. The alien's condition slowly stabilized. As Nari's strength returned, her skills with the translation program improved. Through broken phrases and improvised hand gestures, She explained that she was a scientist who had discovered evidence of corruption within the Eloran military leadership. Bad leaders plan attack, the translation read. Want war with humans. The others, I find proof they try kill me. Mina's blood ran cold. They tried to kill you because you found out about a planned attack? Yes, attack with... The tablet struggled with the translation. Life poison? Death small things? A biological weapon, Mina guessed. Nari's 3 eyes blinked rapidly in what seemed like agreement. A sharp knock at the door made them both freeze. Sergeant... Kim? It was Lieutenant June, her direct superior. Open up immediately. Mina motioned for Nari to hide in the storage closet. The alien moved silently across the room. Coming, sir, Mina called, waiting until Nari was hidden before opening the door. Lieutenant June's face was grim. Captain wants to see you now. We've received a transmission from an Eloran vessel. They'll arrive within 12 hours. Elorans? Here? Mina tried to sound surprised. They claim one of their citizens crashed on this moon. A criminal, they say. A dangerous fugitive. His eyes narrowed. They're demanding we hand over any survivors we've found. And what did the captain say? Mina asked, keeping her voice steady. That we haven't found anyone, Lieutenant June replied, but they're coming to search regardless. They say this fugitive stole important military secrets. After he left, Mina locked the door and leaned against it, heart pounding. Nari emerged from hiding, her crystal face impossible to read, but her body language clearly showing fear. They come, Nari typed into the translator. They not want rescue, they want silence. Mina nodded grimly. I believe you. She sat beside the alien on the floor. Through gestures and the improving translator, they continued their conversation deep into the night. Mina learned more about Eloran culture than any human had before. By morning, she knew 2 things with certainty. Nari was telling the truth about the planned attack, and the Elorans coming to rescue her would kill her the moment they had her. Mina also realized something else. In just one day, she had come to care about what happened to this alien. Not just because Nari's information could save human lives, but because the Eloran herself mattered. I won't let them take you, Mina promised as station lights simulated dawn. We'll find a way to expose the truth. Nari's inner light glowed brighter for a moment. She reached out and touched Mina's hand with crystal fingers. The gesture needed no translation. Outside, the station alerts began to sound. The Eloran ship had arrived early. The station klaxons blared as the Eloran ship entered orbit. Mina paced, her small quarters, mind racing. Nari sat cross-legged on the floor, her crystal fingers moving quickly across Mina's tablet. The translation program had improved overnight as they worked together to refine it. Must show you proof, Nari typed. In my memory crystal. She pointed to a small shard embedded in her chest. It glowed with a different pattern than the rest of her body, pulsing with stored information. Can we access it? Mina asked. Nari nodded and carefully removed the crystal. She placed it against Mina's tablet. The screen flickered, then filled with strange symbols and images. Our tablet cannot read Eloran data, Mina said with disappointment. Nari made a chiming sound that Mina had come to recognize as frustration. The alien took back the crystal and held it in her palm. It projected a holographic image above her hand. Mina gasped. The projection showed laboratory scenes. Eloran scientists working with containers filled with glowing substances. The images shifted to test subjects, small creatures first, then larger ones. They writhed in pain before their bodies dissolved from within. What is this? Mina whispered, horrified. The translation program converted Nari's response. Bioweapon. Attacks. Specific genetic patterns. Can target species. More images appeared. Diagrams of DNA-like structures labeled with alien symbols. Mina recognized some of them from her military training. These are species markers, she said. Human, Taurian, Vespid. She looked at Nari with growing dread. They're designing weapons that target specific species. Yes, Nari confirmed through the translator. Military leaders plan attack, many die, blame others, start war. And your government, they allow this. Nari's inner light dimmed. Most government not know, I discover. Try tell leaders, some believe, most not. Call me liar, traitor. The alien showed more images, herself presenting evidence to a council of larger Elorans. Their rejection. Her escape as security forces tried to capture her. The ship coming now. Not rescue, Nari interrupted. Kill mission. Silence me. Destroy evidence. Mina's comm unit buzzed again. This time she answered. Sergeant Kim, report to command immediately. Captain Tay's voice left. No room for argument, Mina looked at Nari. I have to go, stay hidden. Mina, Nari typed quickly. If they find me, they destroy your base too, no witnesses. The words hit Mina like a physical blow. By helping Nari, she hadn't just risked her career. She had endangered everyone on the outpost. I'll warn them, she promised. The command center buzzed with activity when Mina arrived. The main screen showed the Eloran vessel in orbit, an elegant crystalline ship that sparkled in the sunlight. Captain Tay spotted her and motioned her forward. His face was tight with anger. Sergeant Kim, the Eloran commander insists a fugitive from their justice crashed on our moon. They demand permission to search our facility. His eyes narrowed. Would you know anything about this? Before Mina could answer, Lieutenant June stepped forward. Sir, we found these in Sergeant Kim's patrol sector. He placed a piece of crystal on the table, a fragment from Nari's escape pod. All eyes turned to Mina. Sergeant, did you encounter an Eloran during your patrol? Captain Tay asked, coldly. Mina straightened her shoulders. Yes, sir. I found an injured Eloran and brought her to base. The room erupted in shocked voices. You directly violated orders, Captain Tay shouted. Where is the alien now? Demanded Lieutenant June. Mina raised her hands. Sir, please listen. This isn't a simple fugitive case. The Eloran, her name is Nari. She's a scientist who discovered something terrible. Her military is developing biological weapons designed to target humans and other species. Disbelief showed on every face around her. She has proof, Mina continued. The Elorans who are coming aren't here to rescue her. They're here to silence her and destroy the evidence. This is absurd, Lieutenant June scoffed. The Elorans are isolationists, not aggressors. That's what we've been led to believe, Mina replied. Nari risked her life to warn us. Captain Tay shook his head. Even if what you say is true, and that's a big if, we can't risk interstellar conflict over one alien's claims. The Eloran. Hegemony has requested their citizen back. We have no choice but to comply. Sir, Mina stepped forward, what if she's telling the truth? Millions could die. That's not our problem, the captain snapped. Our problem is avoiding a diplomatic incident that could lead to war. We're already headed for war, Mina argued. Except they'll start it on their terms with weapons we can't fight. The communication panel chimed. An Eloran face appeared on screen. Sharp angles of crystal with 5 glowing eyes arranged in a pentagon pattern. Human captain. The Eloran spoke through a translator. We are prepared to retrieve our fugitive. Please deliver the criminal to the designated coordinates. We are preparing to comply, Captain Tay replied smoothly. When the transmission ended, he turned to Mina. Where is the alien? Mina took a deep breath. Sir, with respect, I cannot tell you that. This isn't about politics anymore. This is about protecting innocent lives, human and alien alike. This is insubordination, Lieutenant June warned. No, sir. This is doing what's right. Mina looked around at her fellow soldiers. We all join to protect others. That doesn't stop at the edge of human space. Captain Tay studied her for a long moment. Do you realize what you're risking? I do, sir. He sighed heavily. The Elorans have given us 4 hours to produce their fugitive before they force entry. Lieutenant, place Sergeant Kim under arrest. Then organize search teams. As 2 soldiers moved to take her arms, Mina looked directly at her captain. Sir, please, just let me show you her evidence before you decide. You have 3 hours to prove your story, Captain Tay said finally. After that, I'm handing over the alien and you'll face court-martial. Mina nodded. It wasn't much time, but it was a chance. Now she just needed to convince Nari to trust. More humans with her secret. Outside the command center, the station alerts changed pattern. The Eloran ship had launched smaller vessels. They were coming down to the surface. Time was running out. The main hangar buzzed with activity as 3 Eloran shuttles landed. Their crystal hulls caught the artificial light, sending rainbow patterns across the walls. Captain Tay stood stiffly at the front of the reception committee, his face a mask of diplomatic politeness. Mina watched from a maintenance corridor, hidden behind a service panel. 2 hours had passed since her confrontation with the captain. In that time, she had shown Nari's evidence to a small group of soldiers she trusted. Only 3 believed her: Corporal Jiwoo, Technician Day, and Medic Suk. "They're here," Jiwoo whispered beside her. 6 Eloran guards, and what looks like a commander. The Elorans marched down the landing ramp. Unlike Nari's delicate blue form, these warriors were angular and red, with armor-like outer shells. Their leader had 7 eyes arranged in a circle, a sign of high rank among their kind. "Human Captain," the Eloran commander's voice echoed through the hangar, "we appreciate your cooperation in this matter. The criminal will face justice for her crimes against our people." Captain Tay nodded stiffly. "We understand your position. However, we request assurance that your fugitive will receive fair treatment." The Eloran commander's crystalline face could not show emotion, but his tone hardened. "That is not your concern. Produce the traitor immediately." Mina slipped away. She had seen enough. The Elorans had no interest in justice, only in silencing Nari forever. She hurried through back corridors to her quarters, where Nari waited with Suk and Day. "They're here," Mina said, catching her breath. "We need to move now." Suk looked up, from where she had been examining Nari's slowly healing form. "She's still weak. Moving her is risky." "Staying is riskier," Mina replied. She turned to Day. "Is the diversion ready?" The young technician nodded. "Set for 2 minutes from now. It should give us enough time to reach the maintenance shaft." Nari stood shakily, her crystal body still showing faint cracks despite Suk's treatments. She typed into the translator, "Thank you all. Risk much for me." "Not just for you," Mina said gently. "For everyone they plan to hurt." A distant boom shook the station. Alarms blared immediately. "That's our cue," Jiwoo said with a grin. Day's little present to the power grid just arrived. They moved quickly through darkened corridors as emergency lighting flickered on. The station's power failure would keep everyone busy for at least 15 minutes. This way, Mina led them to a rarely used maintenance shaft that led deep below the station. The moon's natural caverns had been incorporated into the base's design, providing storage and emergency shelter. They had just sealed the shaft door behind them when Mina's comm unit crackled. "All personnel, this is Captain Tay. The Eloran fugitive must be surrendered immediately. The Eloran commander has issued an ultimatum. Produce their criminal or they will consider this an act of hostility warranting full response." Mina switched off the comm. "They're threatening the station," the Führer. Small group descended in tense silence, climbing down metal rungs until they reached the natural cavern system below. The emergency lights barely penetrated the darkness. "I can't see anything," Jiwoo complained. To everyone's surprise, Nari stepped forward. Her crystal body began to glow brighter, illuminating the cave in soft blue light. She pointed confidently down one of the tunnels. She can sense the crystal formations, Mina realized. She knows which way to go. They followed Nari through a maze of tunnels that would have been impossible to navigate without her. Her natural connection to the crystalline environment made her the perfect guide. After 20 minutes of walking, they reached a large chamber filled with glittering crystal formations. Nari seemed stronger here, drawing energy from her surroundings. "We should be safe for now," Mina said, checking her portable scanner. "We're deep enough that they won't detect us easily." Suk examined Nari again. "She's healing faster down here. The mineral content must be helping." Dai set up a small communications array. "I can tap into the station's systems from here, but I can't broadcast anything powerful without giving away our position." Mina's comm unit buzzed again. She reluctantly answered it. "Sergeant Kim." It was Captain Tay, his voice tight with anger. "The Eloran commander has given us 1 hour to produce their fugitive. After that, they will open fire on the station. 300 people will die because of your actions. Is that what you want?" Mina closed her eyes briefly. "Sir, I understand the situation, but you haven't seen what I've seen. If we hand Nari over, millions could die later. That's theoretical. This threat is real and immediate. The connection cut off. Mina looked around at her small team. We need a new plan, she said. We can't just hide down here while they threaten. The station. Nari stepped forward and placed her memory crystal on Day's communication array. The technology sparked and changed, Eloran data merging with human systems. Through the translator, Nari explained, "Can send truth. To all Elorans, to humans, need stronger signal. If we boost the signal, the Eloran ships will find us immediately," Day warned. "Then we need a diversion," Mina said. "Something big enough to keep them busy while we broadcast." Jiwoo grinned. "The fuel depot. If we can reach it, we could cause enough chaos to cover a transmission." "That's on the other side of the base," Suk pointed out. "We'd never make it there undetected." Nari's crystal fingers tapped rapidly on the translator. "Not need go there. Have another way." She led them deeper into the caverns, to a place where crystals grew in perfect geometric patterns. At the center stood a massive formation that resembled an antenna. "Natural transmitter," Nari explained, "can focus signal, send through moon core. Eloran ships not detect source." Mina stared in amazement. "You can use the moon's natural crystal structure as a communications array?" Nari's body pulsed with what might have been pride. "Yes. Need human tech join with crystal, then send truth. Everywhere." For the next 30 minutes they worked feverishly, Day and Nari combining human technology with Eloran crystal science in ways never attempted before. Above them, the deadline approached. "It's ready," Day finally announced. "But we can only send one transmission before they trace it." Mina looked at Nari. "Are you sure about this? Once we do this, there's no turning back." Nari's crystal hand reached out and touched Mina's, a gesture of trust that transcended language. "Send truth," she typed simply. "Save many lives." As the ultimatum's final minutes ticked away, Mina activated the transmitter. Nari's memory crystal glowed blindingly bright as its contents, the evidence of conspiracy and planned genocide, shot through the moon's crystal core and beyond. To every corner of Eloran space, to every human outpost, to every species marked for death, the truth was out. Now they just had to survive long enough for it to matter. The crystal transmitter hummed with power as Nari's evidence spread across space. For 5 long minutes, nothing happened. Then Mina's comm unit exploded with signals. "Sergeant Kim, Captain!" Tay's voice was urgent. "What have you done?" Before she could answer, the cavern shook violently. Dust and crystal shards rained down. "They've found us," Jiwoo shouted, checking his scanner. "Eloran troops are entering the tunnel system." Mina looked at Nari. "Your message, did it get through?" Nari's inner light pulsed confidently. She nodded. The comm crackled again. "Sergeant," Captain Tay spoke quickly. "The situation has changed. The Eloran High Council is contacting us directly. They're ordering their military vessels to stand." "Down!" Hope surged through Mina. "The evidence worked." "Partially," the captain replied. "But the military commander here is refusing council orders. His troops are heading for your position. We're coming to help. Hold out if you can." The connection died as another blast rocked the cavern. "We need to move," Mina ordered. "D, destroy." "The transmitter. Leave no trace." They fled deeper into the tunnels, Nari leading them through passages too narrow for the bulkier Eloran soldiers. Her crystal body glowed brighter now, fully healed by the mineral-rich environment. "Shortcut," Nari typed quickly. "Can reach surface, different exit." They followed her through a tight passage that climbed steadily upward. Behind them, they heard the sound of pursuit, the distinctive chiming noise of Eloran troops moving fast. They emerged into a small crater near the base's outer perimeter. The sky above them was chaos, Eloran ships firing at each other while human defense systems activated. "Civil conflict," Nari explained through the translator. "Council forces against military rebels." The ground in front of them exploded as an Eloran soldier appeared at the crater's edge. His red crystalline form towered over them, weapon raised. "Traitor," he said in halting human language, aiming at Nari. Mina didn't hesitate. She threw herself forward as the weapon discharged. Pain tore through her side as the energy blast hit her instead of Nari. She collapsed, the world spinning around her. Through blurring vision, she saw Jiwoo and Suk return fire. The Aloran soldier shattered into crystal fragments. "Mina!" Nari's voice, her actual voice, not the translator, called out. Cool crystal hands touched her face, the blast energy weapon burning through. Suk's voice sounded distant as she examined the wound. "I can't stop it with our supplies." Mina felt strangely calm despite the pain. She had saved Nari. The evidence was out. It was enough. But Nari was moving quickly now, her crystal fingers working with surprising dexterity. She broke off a small piece of her own body, a perfect blue shard from her arm. Without hesitation, she pressed it into Mina's wound. Pain like fire shot through Mina's body, then blessed coolness. The crystal shard melted into her flesh, spreading like liquid metal through her veins. "What's happening?" Suk asked in amazement. "Healing crystal," Nari typed one-handed, her other hand still pressed to Mina's wound. "Part of me becomes part of her. Stops damage." Mina gasped as new strength flooded her system. The burning pain subsided to a dull ache. She could breathe again. "You saved me," she whispered. Nari's 3 eyes blinked in sequence. "You saved me first." The sky above cleared as human shuttles landed around them. Captain Tay emerged from the lead vessel, accompanied by several high-ranking officers Mina didn't recognize. "Sergeant Kim," the captain said, his stern face showing rare respect. "You've caused quite a diplomatic incident." "Sir, He raised a hand to stop her. An incident that may have saved millions of lives. Behind him, a tall Aloran in ceremonial crystal armor stepped forward. Unlike the military troops, this one's body was green and elaborately patterned. A council elder. "This is Elder Tail of the Aloran High Council," Captain Tay explained. "Your transmission reached them." The elder bowed slightly toward Nari, who returned the gesture with obvious surprise. The evidence was irrefutable. The elder spoke through a translator device. "The military conspiracy has been exposed. Those responsible will face justice." Mina struggled to sit up, helped by Suk. And Nari, she was telling the truth all along. "Science caster Nari is declared innocent of all charges," the elder confirmed. "Her courage has prevented a great tragedy." 2 weeks later, Mina stood in the station's main conference room, still bearing a glowing blue scar where Nari's crystal had saved her life. The energy weapon should have killed her, but now part of Nari would always be with her, a permanent bond between their species. Captain Tay stood at the podium, addressing the assembled diplomats from Earth and the Aloran homeworld. What began? "Has one soldier's act of compassion has opened a new chapter in relations between our peoples," he said. "Today we sign the first formal treaty between humans and Alorans, a treaty of cooperation, not isolation." Mina watched as Nari approached the podium, no longer a fugitive, but now appointed as the first Aloran ambassador to human space. Her crystal body had been adorned with ceremonial markings of honor. "Mina Kim," Captain Tai continued, "step forward." Surprised, Mina approached the podium on slightly unsteady legs. For extraordinary courage in the face of danger, for upholding the highest ideals of humanity, even when it meant defying orders, and for actions that prevented both immediate conflict and future war, you are hereby promoted to lieutenant. The room erupted in applause, human and Aloran alike. Later, alone with Nari in the observation dome, they watched the stars together. "You return to Earth soon," Nari said through her translator, which now produced perfect human speech. "To train other officers in Aloran communication," Mina nodded, "and you'll be coming as the ambassador. We'll still work together." "Many Alorans still think humans primitive," Nari admitted. "But I will change minds. Tell your story." Mina smiled, touching the glowing blue mark on her side. "And I'll tell yours." Outside the dome, an Aloran ship and a human vessel flew in perfect formation, a honor guard for the new ambassador. Former enemies, now allies. "One person can change everything," Nina said softly. "One choice to help someone different." Nari's crystal hand found Mina's human one, different in every way yet somehow perfectly matched. "One soldier," Nari agreed. "One alien girl. Together they looked out at the stars, no longer a boundary between their peoples, but a frontier they would explore together. The end.